you're live on YouTube.
Okay. Hi, guys. We're going to start our YouTube. Okay, I'm a hot mess. Welcome to my hot mess and my delicious food. Today, we are going to be making chicken tikka masala, garlic naan, and Indian style cucumber salad. This is a Western version, obviously, of the Indian food, but it'll be as close as we can get. Even though tikka masala is a combination of recipe from British and India, because Britain loves sauces on their food, and Indian tikka masala used to be just the chicken, and so they made the sauce on it, and now that's what we have today. So that's what we're going to do, and tiki means small chickie. So that's what we're going to do today. I also wanted to say that we're going to take a little break to reset my programming. I've been really hectic, and so has my producer. So we need to get things reestablished. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a break, and our next live on YouTube will be September 6th, and that is going to be chicken tenders and mac and cheese on the stovetop. Then September 20th, we're going to do Tuscany chicken and some other stuff with that. That will be announced. Sorry, that will be announced. So we're going to be doing it every other week starting in September. I will be doing some lives on TikTok. Just whenever I'm cooking, I'll pop on there live and let you guys see me cook. I hope to look decent in all those because I have my hair all over the place when I'm cooking because I love to cook. So I want to let you know that. Do go to my YouTube, like and follow me on my YouTube channel, and also be able to see other stuff. So earlier in today, I did post videos about how to marinate your chicken for the tikka masala. That will give you better flavor. And I also posted how to make the garlic naan bread that is rising, but we will be finishing that off. So first of all, first things first. We are going to, what am I going to do? Let's start over here. We are going to get our skillet going. And in our skillet, we are going to I have the chicken that I marinated. So you can see that. And it is smelling delicious. In the marinade is 2 teaspoons of paprika, 2 teaspoons of turmeric, 2 teaspoons of cumin, 2 teaspoons of garam masala, 1 teaspoon of Indian chili powder, 1 teaspoon of salt and pepper, 1 teaspoon, 4 cloves of garlic, and 3/4 of a cup of Greek yogurt. And then I mixed it together. So I put a little bit of ghee in here, which is clarified butter. It's an Indian butter, and it's wonderful to cook with. I highly recommend it. You can find it in your grocery stores, or I do buy all my spices for Indian cooking at Indian Market. I actually go to Brattleboro, Vermont to get it because I like the shop owners there. They're always very helpful when I ask them questions about Indian food, and because I used to own an Indian restaurant, and so I really enjoy the fact that they will answer my questions because I'm obviously naive about some things. So I've been learning a lot. I've learned a lot from them, and I continue to learn from other people along the way. And I got a liking for making Indian food years ago when my brother was dating a girl from India, South India. And then my neighbor, when I lived in Brattleboro, she knew Indian food. She had been married to a guy from India. So I learned a lot of stuff from her. So I'm going to get this frying. And we're just going to it takes about 8 minutes for this to fry out. So we're just going to leave it sitting there cooking. We're not going to worry it, but we'll stir it every so often. So and then we got our rice going here. So let's move back over here and get the stuff ready to go into our bowl. We need to take 1 white onion, and we're going to chop it finely. So what I'm going to do is just roughly cut it up. And then I'm going to use a food chopper because it's been a long day, guys. I had a crazy, crazy day. I have a mattress that's on its 3rd replacement, so I had to get ready for that. And then my refrigerator died this week. Can you believe it? Person that cooks, my refrigerator died. So I have a new refrigerator coming, so I've been trying to clean out everything. And if you guys haven't figured it out yet, we are the condiment family. we we have so many condiments because everybody in this family has a different condiment like. So yes, we have multiples of everything that's possible. So get this onion finely chopped. If you do not have a chopper, you can get them almost anywhere. You can do this and this will chop it up finely also. It just takes a little bit longer. My husband, he likes to do it that way. He laughs at me because I'm lazy. I think it takes out frustration. Think how good this is to hit something and bang on it if you've had a bad day. Just chop away, man. Look at that. Fine, wonderful onion. Okay, so we got this ready. Let's scoop that aside. Now in this bowl here, we're gonna add to it our spices that we need to put in. So we need to put into there, let me find my teaspoon. It's hanging out here somewhere. We need to put a teaspoon of where'd my paprika go? Hold on a minute, guys. You're gonna see my spice cabinet. There, nope, cayenne. Cayenne. I had it out here. What did I do with it? Is that it, or is that cumin? That's cumin. Is it over in the other area? No. Hold on, I gotta stir my chicken. That is, oh, it's looking good, guys. It's browning up. Okay. Well, hold on. Oh, here it is, hiding. I had a panic attack for nothing. I told you I was a hot mess today. Okay. So let's add a teaspoon of paprika, a teaspoon of turmeric. Now, a little tip on spices. If you don't cook a lot, put the date on it when you open it. You really shouldn't have them in your cupboard for more than 6 to 9 months. After that time, they really don't have any flavor in them, and you're just seasoning with nothingness. So I highly recommend you do that. It's not a problem at my house because I cook a lot. I like to cook from scratch. But tomorrow night, since we're getting a new refrigerator on Friday morning, finally, I am ordering pizza, which is almost a sin at our house because we usually make it. But we have a place that makes it, and the little lady, she's great. And so every so often we treat ourselves to no cleanup, no cooking, and pizza. She's adorable. Okay, now this is my Indian. Ooh, I inhaled spices over there. Hold on a second. Okay, this is my Indian spices. They come in a bag like this. I keep them in a Ziploc. I'm gonna add a teaspoon of that. Just so you know, this chili powder is a lot spicier than regular chili powder. So I don't recommend using it in everything. Oh, do not inhale Indian spices. It's not good for you. Okay, so we're gonna put this with a can of crushed tomatoes and a can of coconut milk after the chicken is cooked. Let's see. Yep, looking good. Needs to cook a little longer. You want to make sure your chicken's done. That's basically all you're doing over here is getting your chicken done. It can take anywhere from 5 to 8 minutes depending on how big your skillet is. Cooking on gas, it does cook at a different rate than when you cook on electric. I love gas. I'm a big gas fiend. So I'm going to set this to the side, and we're going to work on this Indian salad, which we will probably have to come and go from. Hold on, I need that cutting board. No, hold on. I bet I can get to it. Guys, I love my island. I just want to say shout out to my husband for my island. He built me this island so I'd have somewhere to cook, because really Victorian houses have little or no space in the kitchen. Well, I'm going to tell you what he did. He went to, what's that place called? He went to Harbor Freight and he bought a workbench and he put it together. Guys, you can get those on sale for like $150. And so that's what he did. Our chicken is getting close to done. So he did that, and then he put it together, and he put rollers on the bottom so it would rise up to the height I wanted. And then he bought a piece of butcher block and attached it, and this is my thing. So it's really cool. And my drawers all have felt in it, so nothing moves around. Okay, we're going to cut this red onion up into cubes. And I will tell you guys in advance, I'm not the best at cubing stuff, but we'll try. Especially an onion. I consider that cubed or rectangular, whichever you want to call it. So we're going to cut this up. So this is going to go in the bowl. We're going to put everything in the bowl, and at the end you toss it. This is a really easy salad. Just so a heads up, I've never made it before. But you know what? It's always time to try a new thing. I love cooking new stuff. Sometimes I change it. I did read this recipe and I did not change anything in it. Okay, it's time for us to remove our chicken. We're going to put it in a bowl. We'll set it to the side here. Then we're going to add our onion. With a little ghee. I love ghee. I'm going to learn to make it. It's so expensive to buy. I need to learn to make it. I was just telling my daughter earlier, every time I'd say I want to learn to make something, that's one more thing I don't buy. I make myself. And it's just, you know, sometimes it makes it easier because then no matter what part of the country you live in, you can always find it. And really what happened, we make Indian buffet night, which is where I make about 7 different dishes. So that means I cook all day. And but I make my own paneer. And guys, making your own paneer is so freaking easy. You should do it. It tastes so good. I don't know why they even sell it in the store because it's so much better homemade. It's hard to find, so it's easier to make yourself. Okay, so this is pretty well sauteed up like I want it. You can see the onions are starting to become translucent. So now to this, I'm going to add my can of crushed red tomatoes. I really don't have a preference on what crushed tomatoes I use, what brand. Pretty much tomato's a tomato, guys. But make sure it's salted. Don't use unsalted. So we're going to put that in. I do like Goya for my coconut milk. So we're going to add that in. And we're going to stir it around. Just turn that down. Now the coconut milk, you probably can see a little, it looks kind of curdled look. That's just the fat. It will dissipate as it cooks, okay? Don't panic. Calm. Coconut milk does that. Okay, and then we're going to add to this all of our spices. We're going to let it cook for a hot minute before we add our chicken back in and let it cook off while we're doing other stuff. So stir that in good. Okay, so you can see it's kind of a red sauce. That's what it's supposed to look like. It is a type of curry because garam masala is a type of curry. Get our rice going here in a minute. We don't want to be done with everything and our rice is still cooking. I don't know why that's taking so long to come to a boil. Okay, so we're just going to let that simmer along for a hot minute, and I'll stir it every so often. Okay, back to our salad. What was I saying about it? Okay, next we're going to add a cucumber. We're going to leave it. Is that okay? We're going to slice it. as thin as you can. If you're patient, you can slice it thinner. I'm not patient, so I'm not going to slice it thin. My husband, if I ask him to be my sous chef, they would all be like this because he's very diligent when he cuts. I, on the other hand, am not. And you know what? I could use a mandolin, but I used to have like 4 mandolin and I got rid of them all. And now he's upset at me. He says I need to get another mandolin. So, but I just killed my baby electric skillet and my baby griddle. And so electric griddles, so I'm going to have to invest in those guys, new guys. I go through a lot of appliances because I use my kitchen stuff a lot. So when I buy, I try to buy what I know I like. And it will make me happy until it dies. So we get our cucumber all sliced up here. This is an English cucumber, so I don't have to peel it, which is nice. You can peel English cucumbers, but you don't have to. Also, this cucumber is so delicious in my cilantro lime gin drink, my refreshing seas drink. I highly recommend it if you drink. And if you don't, it's so refreshing and cooling. I recommend it in all this heat that everybody's been having to deal with all over the United States. So go back and look through my videos and find it. You can learn how to make your own cilantro lime simple syrup and then make the drink. And you could probably make the drink if you didn't want to drink, if you don't drink gin, you could probably make the drink without any gin in it. I don't know why you'd want to, but you could. Okay, so we got our cucumber in here. Guys, look how easy this is going together. Now we're going to put some tomato in. So we're going to take our tomato, we're going to cut the ends off, and we're going to seed them. And we're going to dice them as I seed them. Well, I'm going to get a paper towel here because this is going to be a crappy mess if I don't. Let me stir this. Ooh, don't get rambunctious with it. The longer you can let it simmer along before you add the chicken in, the better flavor you're going to have in your sauce. Yes, let's get our rice on. Okay, so let's see if I can do this right without dumping it everywhere and boiling it over. I did it! Almost caused a catastrophe, guys. Almost. Okay, so put your rice in there. Then you want to stir your rice so it doesn't stay in a pile. And then that's the only time you're going to stir it till the end, guys. Do not stir your rice while it's cooking. It will become a sticky, hot mess. Okay, so we're going to leave it up until it comes back to a boil, and then you turn it down to a simmer for 20 minutes. Okay, let's get this guy. I need to keep an eye on that because I don't want it to... No, I have to wait until it comes back to a boil to turn it down to low. Okay, so we're going to get the seeds out because you don't want the seeds in this salad. So we're going to cut it up into chunks, and then we're going to dice it to go in the salad. So the star of this salad is cucumbers. The reason that a lot of the Indian salads have cucumber in it because they are very cooling, and a lot of the Indian food is spicy. So they use that to cleanse their palate in between dishes. So that's what we like to use it for also. So we're going to get, let me see. Yeah, I'm going to turn this down, back burner down to low. Alexa, set a timer for 20 minutes. Okay, got our rice going. We managed not to boil it over, which I'm notorious for. Okay, let's see about this guy. I think he's ready for us. He's thickening. So let's add our chicken back in and turn him down on low. So you just pour your chicken back in. Stir it in. And yes, I have a lot of extra sauce because they like the sauce with their food. So I always make a little extra. So I'm gonna leave the lid off. We're a saucy family, both in temperament and in our food. So let's go on and chop our tomato up into cubes. I like I love tomato. I've been growing tomatoes outside my back door. Do you think they have produced anything? Not hardly anything. A cherry tomato here, a cherry tomato there, a big tomato here. Not even enough to make fried green tomatoes, and I wanted to make fried green tomatoes with you guys. But if I'm lucky, maybe I'll have some green tomatoes to put with the chicken tenders. That would be delicious. With mac and cheese and chicken tenders. So let's get this out of our way. Look how pretty that salad is. It has so much color in it. What else do I need to add to my lovely salad? Okay, we got our tomatoes. We're going to also, I have to put some gloves on here in a minute because we're going to do 2 chili peppers, 1 red and 1 green. Basically, they're jalapenos because that's what I can find here. Sometimes I use serranos if I can find them or something like that. But you can also use jalapenos in Indian food. Yes, that's very Americanized, but here we are. My red jalapeno is actually from my freezer because when I find them, I freeze them because they are not very often available here. We're in the New England area. So, yes, jalapenos, serranos, chipotle, habanero, can all be frozen, and you just have to use them when you take them out of the freezer. You can't leave them in your refrigerator. You have to use them when you defrost them, but they will be like a fresh one. So this is our red one that I froze. I'm going to de-seed it because we do not want all these seeds in our salad. That would be gross. Always wear gloves when you're doing hot peppers because it will soak into your skin. And anyone you touch with your fingers will get spicy stuff. Okay, so let's do I want to make sure I got all the seeds off there. So we're going to cut these up little pieces. This is about the speed it would take to make it if you made it yourself, except for the chicken marinating it and the making your naan ahead of time. Otherwise, the time period will be the same if you do it on your own at home. You just have to do the marinade and stuff ahead of time. Okay, there's our red chili pepper. Goes in there. And we have a jalapeno.
How's the salad supposed to cleanse your palate if you put all these peppers in it?
I don't know. The cucumbers are there. In fact, I'm only going to put half of this jalapeno because he's really big. So I'm only going to put half of him. So we got our jalapeno, our red pepper. Then we're going to add the juice of 2 limes. I know, doesn't it sound delicious, guys? Except to Izetta, my wonderful producer. She doesn't like this kind of stuff. So we're going to add our jalapeno in. Okay, and then we're going to get 2 limes. And we're going to juice it. Interesting fact, guys, each lime has about a tablespoon and a half on each half. So when you want to know how much you need, I usually do 2 tablespoons per lime. That way I know I will have plenty. So when you're buying limes and it calls for a certain number of tablespoons, that's an interesting fact about limes. Unless they're tiny, tiny, being the key limes, those guys have about a half a teaspoon in them. Well, not really, but not very much. Okay, so we got our lime in there. Now we're going to add a tablespoon of vegetable oil. I know, that's so much. And we're going to add some chopped up cilantro, just a little bit. This is how I keep my cilantro so it stays fresh after I wash it. Just put it in a glass with water and put it on the back of your sink or someplace like that in between while you're using it. Chop this up a little bit. Doesn't have to be real small, just kind of chunky is fine for this salad. Sprinkle it in. Whoop! And I wonder why I have to sweep my floor multiple times a day. You saw it on camera. Okay, now I'm going to do I got to chop up some peanuts. I need 3 tablespoons of peanuts. So this is a good way to do your peanuts. In a food chopper, you can just pour them in. Put the lid on it. Then undo, and they're right here. And then you can pour them into a measuring cup. And it's much easier not trying to scrape them up off of the bottom. So you got our peanuts in there. Now we're going to add 1/4 teaspoon of chili powder, our Indian chili powder. Yes, and this is probably going to be spicy, but I have to tell you guys, I love spice. And cumin. And that is all we put in the salad. And then we're going to let me get rid of this mess. Look how pretty. It makes it sound juice with the lime. So that's all the dressing. It doesn't have to have dressing or anything on it. And I guess you can salt if you want salt. I'm not a big salt user, so I'm terrible. If it doesn't call for salt, I'm like, yes. So that's our salad. We're going to set it here to the side. Look how pretty. I just think that's gorgeous. Okay. Look, I came prepared for my sloppiness. Look at this. Okay. Now we're going to move on to our naan. Just a minute, guys. I got to put something in the oven for my daughter who does not eat Indian food. Alexa, set a 10-minute timer. Okay, so we're going to turn on our griddle so it can start heating up. And while that's heating up, we're going to roll out our naan. But first, we have to get the stuff ready. This naan is a special naan. It's a garlic naan, and it requires me to do some stuff ahead of time. So first of all, I need a lot of garlic. So I'm going to do this. And this thing is a really nice garlic thing. You put your garlic under it, and it just presses it out. Let me get it where you guys can see it. I don't use it that much because I only use it when I'm doing large amounts of garlic. Let me get these gloves off before I have a heat stroke. Okay. And then you can take the skins off, and then you take your garlic out like that. So this is a little bit easier than when you're doing a bunch of garlic than using the garlic press. And that's why I use this. Hold on, it's clip time. Okay, got my hands clean. Back to cooking. And I have no idea what it looks like. I just threw it up. I hope it's okay. Okay. So we need a lot of garlic for this because remember, this is garlic naan. And this is like the best naan I've ever made, and I continue to make it, and I really like it. I really recommend it. It's a favorite of my whole family, except for Izetta, the non-Indian food eater. Oh, I gotta quit calling her out on it. She likes other food. She eats lots of foods I won't eat, so it's okay. Because I'm actually really picky about what I eat also, so she probably comes by it really rightfully. What I like about this is it gets rid of all the hard outer shell on the garlic, and you don't get it in your food. And for what I'm doing with the naan, I really don't want that to happen in there, because it gets cooked on the griddle. Would be really cool to have one of those Indian, what are they called, those Indian stoves that they use to cook, where they throw the what's it called?
I have no idea.
Tandoori, I think, oven. Those are really, really cool. I would love to have one. I don't know where I'd put it, but it would be great to have. Okay, got our garlic. Now we're going to add to this a teaspoon of these seeds. They're called nigella or black. I don't know.
Kalonji.
I don't know. I can't pronounce it, guys. I'm sorry. But they're really cool seeds. They're I said I'll show it to you. And then you need celery leaves. Yes, guys, off the top of your celery stalk, you need celery leaves. And we're going to chop those up. Actually, this is harder to find than you think. Celery leaves are not readily available everywhere on celery stalks nowadays. They cut them off a lot of times. So I usually have to look for them. So you're going to chop these up. You want them relatively small. Let me stir my tikka masala real quick. Ah, it's looking good. If you want less sauce and more chicken, just do more chicken breast. Okay, so we got that. We're going to stir this up just a little. Just kind of want to mix it together. I'm going to set that over there. Then I need to get myself a cutting board and my rolling pin. Yes, it's a pastry rolling pin. It's my favorite one, so it's the one I use. I have other ones, but I like this one. You only want a thin layer of flour on here. You don't want too much flour, okay, guys? You don't want a lot of flour. So we're going to take in here. I've already made them into balls, and they rose again. So you take it and you put it in, flatten it out. And we're making garlic naan. So I like to roll them all out in advance before I start cooking them, because they cook pretty fast and you need to pay attention. This recipe makes, I don't know, 8 or 9. Not real, I can't remember. So I put a little bit of flour down in between every one. You should roll them out. Yes, they're supposed to be flat, but I do not roll. I am terrible about rolling things out flat, and I mean round. When I make tortillas, they look like the state of Texas. It's a joke in our family because, once again, patience is probably why I don't do well at that. Get my flour over here. So, well, maybe we will put these guys over there. So you're going to start out with this side down. And you're going to cook them until they start to bubble, and that's when you turn them. They should be golden brown, but they will puff up and start to bubble. So I'm going to try to keep an eye on them and do this. Okay, thank you. I usually roll them out right next to the pan, but we have camera equipment over there, so I can't. So I'm over here. I think they're getting close to done over there. Let me see. So I like to check them. No, they're not brown yet. They have to turn brown, a little golden, and that's when they're ready. So I use a tortilla warmer to put them in after I cook them. I know they're not tortillas, but it does keep them nice and hot until we eat, and I like to do that. So that's how I keep my... Yeah, this one's ready to turn. So they're turning out great. I had a disaster the other day. Multiple times I made stuff and I couldn't figure out what was wrong. It kept not, I mean, I had made this stuff so many times before and never had a problem. I messed up my pizza crust. I messed up my fried pies. I messed up, I don't remember what all I messed up, but I messed up a naan. I messed up my flatbread. And come to find out it was my flour. So okay, so we're going to take and put it in a thing, but before we do, we're going to butter it with a little bit of ghee on top, not too much. You don't want them greasy. And then we're going to throw them in here. Look how delicious that looks. Add a couple more. Actually, I think I have room on there for 3. I love this griddle. This is by All Made. It is a wonderful griddle. I highly recommend their products. Huh? Yeah, it's carbon steel. So it's wonderful. Trouble is, it's huge. It's in this. I'm gonna have to start storing it, I guess, inside my oven. Why? Because I don't have anywhere big enough to put it. It works on top of the fridge, I thought, as long as it's not around the door. Okay, our last one to roll out here. Our rice looks good. Should be close to done. Which one is that? Oh, ask her.
Alexa, what timer is that?
Your 10-minute timer is running. You also have 1 minute left on your 20-minute timer.
Okay, Alexa, stop. So it's a 10-minute timer.
Okay, I need to flip this real quick, guys. Excuse me a moment.
Thank you, Mom.
At our house, I try to always make sure there's food for everybody. And if I make something that the majority like and one person doesn't, I always like to add in something for them. So this is orange chicken, which will go with the rice we're making. So it's a perfect thing. Okay, set another 10-minute timer.
Alexa, set a 10-minute
timer. Okay. You can go ahead and start buttering these because they're getting close to done. I can already taste this food. I'm ready to bite into it. Okay. And we'll add our last 3. Remember, start with the stuff down. Alexa, turn off. That would be our rice. We'll turn it off. It can sit back there and continue its little steaming. Okay. Boy, I have made a terrific mess today. But I have enjoyed cooking with you guys, and I hope you've enjoyed cooking with me. I highly recommend trying any of these recipes if you like these foods. They're easy to make. Cleanup may be more of a challenge, but the cooking part is great and easy, guys. I highly recommend it. So let's go ahead and let's see. Ooh, our looks like that's about ready to flip. No, not quite. So we'll get our plate over here. We're going to add our salad. We're going to start plating because we're almost ready. Here's our little salad. Whoops. Okay. I'm going to put some ghee on top of these guys. You can also, when you make naan, you can put it in Ziplocs and make lunches in the freezer with Indian food. Freezes really nicely and heats up nicely. And you can put the naan in separate Ziploc baggies with each of them so that they have naan to go with their meal. So we're going to add some rice. This rice is the basmati. Is that right? Basmati rice, which is one of my favorite rices. Hold on. Yep, you're ready. Okay. Got our bread done. Now we're going to add to this. We're going to add some chicken tikka masala to this. You can add as much or little of the sauce as you want. Oops. Ooh, that's hot. Hot, 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 hot. That bread is very hot, guys. Who knew? I can't get it out. It's so warm. Well, usually I make it and it sits. Okay, come on. Come here, Meg dear. And there we have it. An Indian dish on the fly at home when you have a hankering for Indian food. Thanks for joining me. While we reset, look for my short videos, or I'll be live on TikTok occasionally. And we'll see you on September 6th for chicken tenders. Have a wonderful rest of your August.